Greetings, facilitators. I just wanted to give you a little more information about our faculty learning communities. In this part of the orientation, I'm going to talk about meeting structure and communication. As you know from the other session, that the focus and the format of FLC meetings is more in the nature of a seminar. It's not a lecture. So I mentioned before that as facilitators, you do not need to be content experts, that you're working together to learn, and so that is consistent with the seminar format where everybody's working together, and that's what that picture is that I have the top picture on the slide, and then it's not a lecture, and the lecture is the bottom part of the slide. So the FLC participants drive the agenda, they help select the projects, they assist each other with project reports and assist you as a facilitator with project reports and help publicize the group's work. And I talk a little bit about publicity in the last session. So as you can see, that the FLC participants as active members do help control what direction they want to take. It's not up to you to as a facilitator to necessarily decide that. Now, of course, you can guide it. If you have more expertise in the area, then it makes sense that you would participate in helping to drive the decisions, but you do not have to decide everything yourself. Note that you need at least 5 members to continue the FLC. That's sort of the threshold requirement that we have at Fresno State to fund the FLCs. Now, in terms of meetings, generally you're to meet at least 3 times per semester. Each meeting should be about 2 hours. There's a little bit of flexibility on that, but not a great deal, because the research on FLCs finds that they're most effective when they meet at least 2 hours and meet about 6 to 7 times per year. You can have online meetings, and there are several ways you can do that here on campus. You can use Blackboard Collaborate, and Tilt can help you set it up if you've never used it before. And of course, I can also help you set it up. I've used it for my classes. You can also use conference calling, and there are other things that you probably could think of as well. Google Hangouts or something like that as another way of having online meetings. We generally want you to have at least some face-to-face meetings, but the group can decide when you want to have an online meeting. And of course, if somebody misses, then you probably want to have conference calling availability for them. So in case you hear a little voice, that's my granddaughter who's here with me as I record this. Now, where you meet is up to the facilitator, since, you know. So where you meet is your choice. You can use 25 Live if you haven't done it. It's not too complicated to learn. Seasalt Tilt has a conference room, and that might be available. You would check with Laura, and her contact information is here. It's Laura, LALCANTAR at csufresno.edu, or her phone number is 278-2819, and she might be able to schedule a meeting for you. You can ask your own department assistant for help. In terms of setting the meetings, it probably helps to set the meeting times in advance. That way people who are looking at your FLC and who are interested in your FLC would be able to know whether they could make the meetings or not. Again, you need at least 5 members to continue the FLC. And, okay, sorry about that. My granddaughter is here and kind of wants some attention. So you can choose the location, as I mentioned. There are various ways you can get help scheduling the meetings. I would suggest setting the meeting times in advance and then mail that schedule to Laura, and I gave her email address earlier. Now, how do you communicate with your group members? Well, obviously in the meeting you have communication, but also you can use email, telephone, including telephone conference calls, Blackboard Collaborate, or other web conferencing. I know that some schools have web conferencing systems, and as long as you're able to access those, that's fine. You could create a Blackboard organization. You can use a website or a blog to publish what you're doing or the results of any studies. Some people use Google Hangouts or whatever method you think would be the most effective so that the group members can keep in touch. Thanks for listening.